Hello, everyone. Welcome to my mini podcast. This semester, I've been reading through the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens, Sean Covey. Throughout the past few months, I've picked up surprisingly helpful advice, not just for school, but for my everyday life. These books break down the habits that can help teenagers stay organized, make better decisions, build healthier relationships, and set a clear direction for their future. Today, I'm going to talk about 2 habits that I think are really important for success in school and life. These 2 habits are, number 1, begin with the end in mind, which is habit number 2, and number 2, which is habit 3, put first things first. I chose these 2 habits because they both have to do with planning, making good choices, and staying focused on what really matters. To help me with this project, I'm interviewing my sister Mackenzie Tatum. She's in her second year of college at the University of Tulsa. She has already had to use these habits throughout high school and college, so I thought she'd be a great person to talk to about how these habits work in real life. Habit 2. Begin with the end in mind. Habit 2 is called begin with the end in mind, and it means thinking about your goals before you make decisions. It's kind of like having a map. If you know where you want to go, it becomes much easier to make good choices that lead you in the right direction. For teens, this habit is important because it helps us stay focused and avoid distractions instead of just going through each day without planning. We think about our future and ask ourselves, is this a good choice helping me get to where I want to go? This can be about school, friendships, sports, careers, or even just becoming the kind of person you want to be. For example, if you want to be a doctor, you know you'll need good grades, so start working hard early. Even if your goal is something smaller, like making a sports team or getting better at an instrument, you'll have to start with the end in mind when you practice regularly and plan ahead. Now I want to ask my sister a few questions about habit 2. Question 1. When you were in high school, did you have a big goal or an end in mind? And what was it?
So I didn't necessarily have a very, very specific goal in mind, but I always knew that I wanted to attend the University of Tulsa because it was a more prestigious school. And for that, I knew I was going to have to get really good grades. I've always pushed myself in high school to get really good grades, and I knew that I wanted to do something business related when I got to TU. And once I got here, I knew and started discovering classes. I realized that accounting was what I wanted to do, and specifically, I want to go get my CPA. And for that, you need to have really good grades. So I've made sure to just start that now of talking to my professors, getting to know them, and just doing really well in my classes. And that's sort of my end goal for college.
How did having that goal help you make better choices?
Yeah, so I think having that end goal both in high school and currently while I'm in TU, it's really helped me be a very productive and student, I would say. With that end goal in mind, I really take into account how I'm doing in classes and specifically the choices I make when studying. I emphasize it as much as I can. And so that's why it's so important having an end goal, because it really helps all those little steps and choices in your everyday life. It really helps you just do the right thing because ultimately you are just going towards that end goal.
And finally, question 3. Does this habit help you now in college? And if so, how does it help?
Kind of going off of what I've previously said, this habit has 100% helped me in college. It's helped me keep a strong focus, especially once you start getting involved in so many extracurriculars and jobs and everything else that happens in college. Sometimes that end goal can kind of, or I guess what you're working for can become blurry. But if you have that set in stone end goal, it really helps to just kind of keep you focused and draw you back into what you're ultimately going to college for. So this habit has 100% helped me.
And now it's time to talk about habit 3, which is put first things first. Habit 3 is put first things first, and it means doing the most important things before anything else. It's about managing your time, staying organized, and not getting distracted by everything that doesn't really matter. For teens, this usually means finishing homework before playing video games, studying before a test, before hanging out with friends, or planning out your week so you don't feel stressed. This habit is challenging because fun things are tempting and sometimes responsibilities feel boring. But when you put first things first, you get more done, feel less overwhelmed, and have more free time later. Adults also use this habit all the time. College students have to plan their schedules carefully because no one reminds them to do their work. People with jobs have to balance work, family, and responsibilities. This habit is about growing up and becoming responsible. Now I'm going to ask my sister some questions about habit 3. So the first question I want to ask my sister is, how do you decide which tasks are most important each day?
So, when I got to college, one of the lessons that you learn right off the bat is that there is nobody there to remind you of the things you need to do. And that's something I think a lot of students don't realize until they get to college and they're on their own for the first time. So, what I do is I actually use my Google Calendar because I love having everything just online so I can look at it anytime I want. And I put in all of my events, all of my tasks, everything I need to do. I put that in my Google Calendar and I set a reminder. And that really helps me make sure that I am getting the most important things done, whether it's homework, studying, a test, my job, whatever it might be. I put everything in there and I just check mark it off when I finish it. And that really helps me make sure that I complete everything I need to do for the day.
Thanks for that advice. Our next question is, was it hard to put first things first in high school, and why?
Yeah, I would actually say that it's been about the same. I think in high school I was always really busy and I do this still in college because I'm an overachieving student, but I wouldn't say that it was hard to put first things first, especially when you are at home. You have your parents as well that can kind of help you make sure that you stay on track and that you're doing the most important things. And then I would do kind of the same thing. Where I wasn't really using Google Calendar, but I was using just one of those uh, daily journal planner type things. So yeah, I wouldn't say that it was necessarily hard in high school.
That's great. Now, the final question is, can you think of a time when this habit really helped you succeed?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, this was just recently when this habit really helped me because I would say this was maybe about 2 weeks ago. I had a really busy week in college where I'm in the marching band and I'm in a bunch of other organizations. And then I also had 2 exams that week. So I was completely stressed to the max, and I really found myself wanting to not do those things. And I really wanted to just kind of sleep and nap and do all the other fun activities and leisure activities. But I just continued to use my Google Calendar and really use this habit of just putting the first things first, doing the most important things no matter how I felt, and just getting them done and out of the way as early as I can. And this really helped me because by the end of the week, I wasn't as stressed. I had finished all the stuff I needed to. And overall, I just felt way better about my week and about myself.
Thanks for listening to my podcast. Today I talked about 2 habits from the 7 habits of highly effective teens. Habit 2, begin with the end in mind, helps us set goals and makes decisions that match the future of what we want. And habit 3, put first things first. Put first things first teaches us to stay organized and focus on the most important things before we do anything else. I want to thank my sister for sharing her high school experience and college experience. Hearing a real life example makes these habits so much easier to understand. Using these habits now can help teens become more responsible, more efficient, and more prepared for the future.